I got little hands. I got thin, weak wrists.
Too early.
Oh, I think there was a delay on the mics, but I do think they're there now. I don't know why there was a delay on the mics, but the mics came in.
Hello. Welcome to
Right?
the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan. The mic's weird? Okay. It's
Yeah.
probably fine. They said we're good now. Hi, good morning. Thank goodness we do this show live. What would we do without you?
Good morning, BBs. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about how much it costs to make it look to the world like you're good at video games. We're also going to talk about some CES stuff, some late spooky scary news,
Yeah.
and so much more. Saige.
Yeah.
My laptop seems to be a bit on the fritz.
It sure does.
And here's what I'm going to tell you, Saige.
What?
I'm livid. This laptop is only 8 years old.
Yeah.
This is only an 8-year-old laptop.
Yeah. Which, when you say it, it's like, yeah, I mean, a laptop should easily last 8 years. But it doesn't, and we know it doesn't. So when you say it, we're all like, well, it's 8 years old.
That's what I'm saying.
But also, it's like two things activate in my brain where I'm like, well, it is 8 years old. And then I go, whoa, I shouldn't think,
I'm obviously
well,
making
it is 8 years old.
I'm obviously making a joke, expecting a laptop to work after 8 years or to be useful, but I shouldn't be.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I shouldn't be.
It actually should be very reasonable for a laptop to work for 8 years. That's a pretty big investment.
It used to be, back when our forefathers started this country, it used to be that you had one laptop that you passed down from father to son.
Yeah.
And if a daughter looked at it, you had to send her to a convent.
And in Japan, when you buy a laptop, there's an obligation that laptop will take care of you for life.
That's right. Some people buy laptops, and then you have to find somebody to take care of that laptop for you after you're dead and gone. Because that's just being a responsible laptop owner.
Exactly. Anyways, good morning, everyone. It's very good to see you. I don't think there were any shows last week.
No
shows last week.
No.
We missed you.
We missed you.
But there's been a lot of stuff happening in the studio. We've made a lot of things for you. We did take a brief pause due to our city being on fire.
Yeah. For anybody who's wondering, listen. We are good. The Pixel Pals are good. Obviously, that is not true of everyone we know or everyone throughout Los Angeles. But I gotta say, I've been extremely, extremely impressed by the response of first responders, firefighters, and now the community.
Yeah.
Coming together, doing things like donation drops and pledge drives, and it's been really wonderful to see LA kind of hit this head on.
I think that, and I hope that this challenges a lot of people's idea of Los Angeles, because I think a lot of people were forced to recontextualize LA in their brain through this like gigantic natural disaster. Like, we have fire season every year. We have tons of fires. We live in a fiery desert, and we know that.
Yeah.
But this is obviously massive and catastrophic. There's been a lot of comparisons showing how much larger it is than fires that you like remember in history.
We're coming to you from Firetown, the town that's always on fire.
And
we're here to tell you that this fire is freaking wild. This fire is bigger. Hey, have you ever been to Manhattan? One of the fires that we're dealing with right now is bigger than Manhattan.
Yeah, somebody did a comparison I saw this morning comparing it to the just size of the Chicago fire, which is like a historic devastation. And look, it's not a competition here between us and Chicago by any means.
But
what
we
I'm
do
saying
win.
is,
But we do win in every category. Every category.
I mean, every time.
Every category that matters.
But listen, the thing is, when these fires initially broke out, right? The Palisades fire first. I was on TikTok and I was really disheartened by the comments. I was really devastated to see the way that people were responding on like all social media too, of just being like, oh, okay, it's the rich people's houses and that thing. You know, we all saw the rhetoric that came out of like, it's all celebrity and rich people's houses, which obviously any sane human being knows Los Angeles does not only have celebrities in it or even actors in it.
No.
That's insane. There's 5 million people in Los Angeles County alone.
Like, yeah, I think it's, if you're not from here, you only know the things that you hear the most. So like, yes, the Pacific Palisades are categorized by having these beautiful homes
Sure.
that are mostly lived in by wealthy people, blah blah blah. But also,
Not even mostly.
but also, there's like a college over there.
Yeah.
There's like
Right. And that doesn't account for the fires in East LA, the
Yeah.
fires all over the place. And regardless of that, people are wild, and that response of it, I think I saw
Right.
a lot of comments.
What I'm saying is, it's not a it's there's no area that's a monoculture that
No.
you can safely say like, oh well, we can lose that area.
Yeah. And then in addition to that, it's like, I think a lot of the comments summed it up really well of being like, oh, you only think of it as celebrities because that's the only thing you care about from LA. And like, valid, you don't have to care about anything
Yeah.
else in LA. If you don't live here, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it is more of a commentary on you if you're like, yeah, LA is a bunch of celebrities. It's like, well, yeah, because you only know things about celebrities and you don't think about other human beings.
LA is mostly. Here's the thing. LA doesn't give a shit what you think about it.
No.
Here's like every single city has an opinion about LA, and LA literally doesn't care. There's
My
this
favorite thing.
There's this great Steve Martin wrote like a book of short stories and stuff, and he used to write stuff for the New Yorker, and he wrote like a New York writer comes to LA.
Yeah.
And he also made the movie LA Story. And one of the things about it is like New Yorkers hate LA.
Yeah.
LA doesn't think about New York.
Nope.
San Francisco hates LA. LA does not think about San Francisco. And when we do, we're like, I hope everybody's cool up there in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, I got friends up in San Francisco. How is it?
I'd like to visit San Francisco or New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
But it's very interesting to live in a place where everybody has an opinion about it.
Yeah.
And something
And
else that
knows nothing about it.
knows nothing about it, and not just the city, but you know, I grew up in Florida, Central Florida, which is all hurricanes. Then I moved to New York, which is snowstorms. Then I moved to San Francisco, which is earthquakes.
Yeah.
And no matter where I went, if a hurricane, a snowstorm, or an earthquake happened, everybody had to armchair quarterback. Everybody had to armchair mayor that natural disaster.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why haven't you thought about fixing it this way? It's like,
Oh.
it's got big ivermectin energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Yeah.
well, have you considered this? Well, it turns out medical science considered that years ago.
Yeah.
And it's only a pill for horses.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It turns out we've run the studies.
Turns out doctors are constantly thinking about how to cure diseases. And are not, you're probably not going to find something they haven't considered.
Yeah, look, every once in a while, are we surprised? Does a new and interesting strategy happen? Sure. But like, I would say you should look to see if your idea has already happened yet.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones was the one that went around that was like, hey, I got an idea. It's right next to the ocean. Why don't you just use some ocean water? And the responses were like, hey, number one, we do, but only a little, because number two, you ever wonder what happens when you salt the earth? I wonder if there's an older phrase in human history than salt the earth.
Interesting.
Is there anything we've known longer than salting the earth is bad?
Yeah. Yeah, good for plants. They love it. Good morning,
It's
Alex.
got what plants need.
Yeah.
It's got electrolytes.
It's what plants need.
Listen.
It's what they crave.
So we've been dealing with that. Other than that, you released last week a very lovely show.
I did. We put out our Gotham City Chronicles one shot. If you haven't watched it yet, I think you should. It's one of the things that I'm proudest of recently. I think it's a pretty good one shot. And
It's
as
very
I get
good.
more and more comfortable with GMing, that was just a really fun one. We had a very, very good time. Everyone's makeup was phenomenal. Shout out specifically Carlos and Xander. Coming through.
Dude,
Coming absolutely through on the makeup.
If you haven't seen this thing, it was made for the Gotham City Chronicles tabletop.
It was.
It's a great game, but also everybody showed up. It was an all villains run.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Carlos as Two-Face and Xander as Mr. Freeze,
Then you're making a mistake.
I
'cause
mean,
look at these boys.
and honestly,
Come on. Come on.
the goofs between the two of them,
So unbelievably good.
so good, but
A
also
hilarious duo.
obviously you had Mika as
Catwoman.
As Catwoman. I nearly said Black Cat because I'm Marvel pilled.
Yeah, I get it. yeah. And then we had Dre as Poison Ivy. We had a wonderful cast. Everybody was so fantastic.
Was this Dre's first tabletop?
Well, not her first tabletop,
but first on cam.
First appearance on the channel. I don't know if she's done other actual play. I couldn't find. I wasn't sure, but I know she hasn't played in a very long time. So we're very grateful that she came out and played with us. It was so much fun. I was shocked when Xander said he was gonna bald cap. I was like, oh no, what? You can't.
Bald cap's not easy.
No, bald cap's really hard. And then Carlos was like, I'm gonna do my own Two-Face makeup, and I was like, good luck to you both, I guess. And we'll see what happens. And they did it. And that was Carlos's first time ever doing makeup.
Crushed. Absolutely crushed.
Killed it.
Everybody looked phenomenal. It was so. Listen, if you have ever been like, I think I'm getting some anti-capitalist queer subtext to Gotham. It feels like it's there if only somebody would just really dive into it.
Yeah.
Surprise.
We did it. Anyways, it was fun. It was good. And you should check it out. And you should tell the people who make that game that you loved it.
Yeah. That you loved it.
We want to do it again.
And that they should do more things with Pixel Circus.
Yeah.
That was great.
Game Found. Yeah.
I also, small thing, I also did the windows.
Yeah.
I did the Gotham windows.
Those backgrounds. Anthony made Gotham.
I thought it was wonderful. And what a cool thing. What a cool thing to do a Batman thing.
Very fun. We got lots of fun, cool stuff coming out very soon. You guys probably saw some little behind the scenes yesterday. We had Travis McElroy in the studio finally.
Oh, was Travis here?
Travis came by the studio yesterday.
Did he have my jumpsuit?
No. He mentioned.
I told him not to fucking show up in LA unless he has my jumpsuit.
Tomorrow.
I know.
Anyways.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. I had some big news that I didn't even know was big news. Because the world was on fire. I didn't see it happen.
Yeah.
The Dungeons and Dragons pinball table.
Yeah. Can you talk about it?
It was announced. Listen, the press release for the Dungeons and Dragons pinball table, the official Stern pinball table of Dungeons and Dragons, went out last week when the fire started, and so I didn't even see that they announced it. But it is the wildest pinball table I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. This is a pinball table that allows you to gather a party, select characters, go on quests. Like, it's wild how this pinball table works. And I am there. I'm in it. And you may not have seen my name in the headlines because they decided to highlight some other people that I had not heard of. Mostly this guy, Gerard Way, who's also in it. Have you heard of this guy?
I have.
Yeah, apparently I've now worked with Gerard Way.
Well,
we're in the same thing. I worked on it. We worked on it together. Me and Gerard Way. Oh boy, the times me and Gerard Way had. Also Matt Mercer and Marisha Ray and Kevin Smith and a bunch of people.
Just
casual. And then me. I play 3 characters in the pinball machine, which is hilarious. I play Fizbo, the merchant. Give all your money to Fizbo. And also, if you play this pinball table, add Diego Firebeard, the dwarf, to your party. They were like, "Do you want to do any sort of like thing for Diego?" And I was like, "Are you asking me if I want to do, because his name is Diego, if I want to do an accent?"
Oh.
I said in my head, I was like, "No, I think I'm good with this."
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, you can hire somebody else to be Diego Firebeard if you want.
I
don't feel comfortable doing that.
You're looking for. We're not gonna dance around. That's not gonna, Anyway.
But it was funny because I saw a lot of the headlines for this pinball table were like, Dungeons and Dragons just released an $8,000 pinball table featuring Gerard Way, and I was like, yeah, because it's a pinball table. You're not
pinball machines are really expensive.
Yeah, you're not supposed to buy it and put it in your house. You're supposed to go to the arcade and play it.
Yeah, it's not really like, oh, and all the other pinball machines I've bought are so cheap.
Yeah, it's like, I remember I used to be able to get a pinball table for $200-300. No. But I think it's hilarious, and so go play that pinball table.
But hey, we've still got a lot of other news coming up for you today.
Yeah.
We got a slow little intro because we missed you, and we've been gone a minute. We wanted to catch up a little bit, you know? I don't know what that hand motion was, but
I
regret it.
I don't like it.
But moving on.
If I had to say, I don't like it.
Anyway, we are going to be talking about a lot of things. I think you already said it in the intro,
already
actually.
did that.
You did
Yeah,
that. Okay,
we did
great.
it.
It's just been so long since then that I forgot.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, if you're on YouTube, you better like and subscribe. Now we've done that too.
Hey, let's get into some news, shall we?
Sure.
Let's talk about some things. Look, there's been a lot of stuff from CES. Most of it, not that interesting. I'll be perfectly honest with you, most of it not that interesting.
Was there anything cool at CES?
Look, there was a few things that were kind of interesting. There was a ton of like eyewear. There's a ton of smart eyewear this year.
Hey.
Which is I know there's always.
Hey.
There was a couple of big improvements in it and a couple that were really, really brilliant for accessibility. So before we shit completely on it.
No, for accessibility, it's great.
The for funsies ones always suck.
Like my dad is hard of hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So he has two choices when he goes to the movies. One of them are these like ancient like you connect your earpiece to this like ancient crackly sound system that they have. But the other one is you can go to certain showings throughout the day where they have assistive glasses that give you subtitles.
Yeah.
So I think for stuff like that, it's great. I think every time they release a pair of smart glasses and they're like, put these on your face, I say no.
Yeah.
And not because I won't put smart glasses on my face.
Sure.
I will. I'm the sort of person that if they made sense,
yes,
I would.
100%.
But because I look at what they do and then I look at what they look like and I go, no, that's not for me. No, that's
honestly, they're getting better.
Sure.
I'm trying to find the specific pair. They had a couple this year that you can't see the display in them, which is really interesting. So you can't see the text from the other side.
Yeah.
For subtitling, that I think is really, really neat.
I think that's important.
I think that's important.
I think it's important where
cool.
if you're sitting across the table from somebody at lunch and you're getting text messages and looking at your calendar,
the
other person shouldn't be able to see that reflected in your eyeballs.
Yeah. I think that's kind of neat. There was a few things like that were there. 5,000 series cards.
Hey, eat shit.
We're doing this too fast, you guys.
Hey, eat shit. That's a $2,000 video card.
Yeah, the 5090, it is $2,000. The lowest is the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 coming in at $550, which is like pretty comparable to what it's been for the 70s.
Here's the thing. I have a 3080.
Yeah.
It's only 5 years old. Just like my laptop is only 8 years old.
Time is weird.
But here's the thing about the hardware generations. Mm-hmm. They all kept pushing forward when we had 2 years when nobody was pushing forward with anything.
Yeah.
We lost 2 years. It's unfair for me to be 2 generations behind right now.
I agree.
2 generations is when I usually go, it's time to upgrade. Can't do that right now.
Alonzo said my 1080 Ti is still doing work. Here's what I will say. The 1080 Ti was a fluke. The 1080 Ti was an accident. It was a mistake.
Banger, great.
The fucking NVIDIA accidentally made way too good of a card for the 1080 Ti.
Dude, I used to have a 1080 Ti.
Same.
The 1080 Ti is the best graphics card I've ever owned. I mean, obviously, like now the card I own is better, but like you want to talk about how much money I paid? What it did, how long it's been relevant.
Yeah.
Holy shit, the 1080 Ti.
Yeah, mine's in a bucket right there because it's always my backup card. Something goes wrong, I know I can go back to my 1080 Ti. I will never get rid of that thing.
It's also like the first generation of card where if you stream, it's got the good enough encoder on it.
Yeah.
So like, that's a great emergency card. Mm-hmm. Skywalker's saying my 3080 works perfect for me. It would work perfect for me too, if not for the fact that I have been trying to do more and more production stuff.
Yeah.
And the 3080 kind of struggles on the stuff that I'm doing.
Specifically virtual production. Because to clarify for people who don't know, like running Unreal Engine on it.
So yeah, I'm like building, I'm over here Mandalorianing on a 3080 and it ain't easy.
Yeah.
It ain't easy. So
anything else that you as a consumer need to do, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even have the gaming monitor on my PC.
Yeah.
I have one monitor that I use for video editing and color correction and stuff, and that's a 4K monitor.
Yeah.
Just because if not, video in a tiny little window and you're trying to edit and you're like, what's that video?
Yeah.
But my gaming monitor is a 1080p gaming monitor. It's fine.
It's totally fine.
I will
say, here's what I will say. I've had my Alienware ultra wide at home that I love. I'll never go back from ultra wide. I
Is it
never
curved
thought I
or
would. It's curved.
It's curved?
It's curved.
I don't like the
ultra wide.
curve.
I love it.
Yeah?
I'm obsessed with it.
Because it feels like you're really there.
I never thought I would be. I didn't
Feels like you're
other
genuinely in Windows 10.
Right. 11 on that one.
No! Why?
She works fine. But listen.
I'm listening.
When I used anyone else's ultra wide, I was like, fuck this shit. Then I had it, and I don't know. Like, it's really crazy because we have separate screens here at the studio. We had 3 27-inch screens side by side, and going back and forth was crazy. I love my ultra wide. We now have the shout out to Alienware for sending over a 36-inch over there.
Wow.
So nice.
It's a nice big one.
It's 36 inches, it's 4K, and you don't know the difference until you're like, oh, the difference now. And then I look over at my other monitor, and it's so sad.
The only reason I don't use an ultra wide and I have the 2 monitors is because back when I bought my monitors, which my monitors are only like 6 years old.
Yeah.
7 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the gaming monitor is only a couple years old. But when I bought the dual monitor setup, ultra wides you were lucky if an ultra wide was 1440.
Yeah.
Like, let alone 4K.
Yeah.
Like, if you can, like, the dual 4K ultra wides, like 2 4Ks side by side, mwah, beautiful. But no, but they're still pricey. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And CES did not change that. CES, okay, but we were talking about glasses. Was there a cool pair of glasses that you saw?
I couldn't find the listing for them. Of course, they weren't mentioned in the roundup. There's a few other things. So in addition to the 5000 series cards, there's the AMD 9070s that were on display. There was a bunch of like a million things. There was roll-up screens that we're never gonna see.
Always roll-up screens.
There's always roll-up screens that do get a little better every year.
Something that I thought was actually interesting was the number of Windows handheld gaming consoles.
So many. So many handhelds, including something we'll get into in a little bit. But do you see anything about the Lenovo Legion?
Yes, the new
Go S.
The Go S is, I think, the first third-party handheld to run licensed Steam OS. So it's basically a Lenovo branded Steam Deck.
And look, it looks so much smaller.
It's not crazy smaller.
It looks a lot thinner.
But it is thinner.
It looks a lot thinner.
I mean, the Steam Deck's pretty thin. The problem is the Steam Deck is gigantic. The Steam Deck is the size of a small breakfast table at a breakfast nook.
Let me see if they have the weight listed.
If I had a family of well-dressed, dapper woodchucks, they could eat breakfast.
Yes.
On
your
Steam Deck.
Yeah.
They could, and they often do. But the Legion Go S is a little smaller. A lot of these are a little smaller. Some of them are bigger because they want to put in a bigger display.
Yeah.
But I think the Legion Go S being the first Steam Deck, like it's not some offshoot flavor of Steam Deck. It's not like a Bazite or an open. No shade to those projects. But this means for as long as the Steam Deck is getting updates, the Lenovo Legion Go S should work with it, which is wonderful.
Why does everybody list the Steam Deck weight in grams?
Because that's the world, baby.
No, because the Lenovo one's in pounds.
Well, because that's America, baby. Why don't you just do little grams to pounds in the Google bar? The Google bar. If only we had calculators.
No, I just wanted someone to tell it to me in pounds. Okay, so it looks like they are actually, what is the reason for this? It says the Go S is actually heavier. That can't be right.
No, that makes sense.
1.63 pounds versus 1.47.
Yeah, it's from what I've heard, it
looks so little.
No, it's heavy boy.
That's terrible. There's no point in this then. There's no point in this. I just need somebody to make one that doesn't kill my wrists. I don't have a Steam Deck. I'm the kind of person that would have a Steam Deck. I would have a Steam Deck if it wasn't uncomfortable for me to play on. I got little hands. I got thin, weak wrists.
I have heard that the controls are more comfortable on the Go S, but I think the controls are comfortable on the Steam Deck.
Won't be comfortable when I'm.
I know,
and I can't. My little wrist.
I know.
What will I do? Who cares if the hand placement was more comfortable?
But that's why I think all of this is interesting. Is everybody's going hard on these, but they're still in the range of like $500 to $1,000, $1,200, depending on which one you buy.
Yeah.
And they're not for everyone. But
No.
a lot of these companies are like, what? I think maybe they are.
I think everyone wants one. And I'm like, no, if people haven't bought a Steam Deck yet, it is either a price point issue or most likely a size issue. Maybe it's a skill issue. I don't know.
Get
Third
good.
option. But really, I think
good
it's
at purchasing.
I think it's really one of two things. If you're in a price point where you could afford a Steam Deck and would want in any capacity something like a Steam Deck, it's probably the size of the Steam Deck that's holding you up. Honestly, I can say that for myself. Otherwise, it is definitely a price point thing.
Yeah.
So if you haven't made it lighter and you haven't made it cheaper, everyone else probably bought a Steam Deck. You know what I mean? And it's not been long enough since the Steam Deck that they need something new.
Yeah.
Right? So
I'm
like
still very happy with my Steam Deck.
Right. Like you're not on the market for another Steam Deck.
No, and that's why I think this is interesting, is because so many of these companies, when you look at like the Aya things or any of the higher end ones,
Yeah.
that are like $1,100, $1,200,
Yeah.
that's too many dollars.
Yeah.
That's like, those are for people who like have sat down and turned on a Steam Deck and were like, how come I don't play Alan Wake 2 on this?
Yeah.
How come this not Alan Wake 2 at 4K?
Yeah.
And it's like, my dude, because it's a 7-inch screen
Yeah.
that you're supposed to bring with you places.
Yep.
People have forgotten. People have forgotten what a portable console is. You know?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you want to play any of those tough to run games on a Steam Deck, well, if you own a Steam Deck, you probably have a gaming PC.
Yes.
So you can stream from your gaming PC to the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or if you're a Microsoft fan, you can get Game Pass on your Steam Deck.
Yeah.
It doesn't like come on it, but you can install it.
Sure.
It's easy.
Yeah. And that would be, honestly, that's the thing, is like when I'm ready for a Steam Deck, I would only do it because I can put my Game Pass on it.
Yeah.
That would be big for me. I'm trying to be better about playing my Game Pass games. I pay for it.
You've got to get better at this.
I have to use it. I have gotten better about it.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a game that was also on Steam, on Game Pass in a minute.
Because I shamed you.
Yeah, you really did shame me into checking.
Because you did it like 4 times.
I also, because I haven't been streaming on my channel, I'm not playing as many games.
Yeah.
So now when I go to play things, I am playing on my Xbox primarily, which is very different than going on Steam. Like I automatically, when I would get to my PC, would open Steam. That's just like a habit. Currently, when I'm gaming, it is leisurely, which is my Xbox on my couch outside of my office. I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get back to there.
Me neither, because I just got a new Xbox. An Xbox 360.
Oh.
I just got a new Xbox 360.
For why?
And I put a mod chip in it, and now I can play all that good 7th gen crust.
Okay.
You know how much we've been talking about the 7th gen crust?
Yeah.
With like the weird bloom lighting and how like
Sure.
weirdly bad games were in the 7th gen. I was like, let me get on that.
Okay.
So I'm currently on my TV right now. I'm not playing a lot on my PC, but on my TV, whew,
A lot of crust.
lot of 7th gen crust.
Nice.
A lot of crust on that TV.
I would like to show you probably the best thing from CES. You seen the SwitchBot?
No, I saw some robots and I said, this is the same robot they keep showing me in a new body.
So you look at this and you're like, oh, okay, it's a smart robot. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can put a fan on it. I can put I mean, honestly, the idea of putting the like iPad on the stand thing there, I'm going to be honest, I don't hate it. As somebody who needs constant sound and would like to have something follow me around with it, I don't hate it, okay?
Yeah.
But you're like, yeah, I guess I could just set that on a Roomba if I had to.
I did, well, is this the one that I saw that
Let
like...
me refresh this here page so I can see the beginning of the video.
Is this the one that I saw that will like pick up dirty clothes from the floor?
No, that's different. That one just had like a little arm on it.
Yeah. But
This one's a whole guy.
Whoa! Wait, go back to those.
Yeah,
go
let me
back
see
to
if I
those
can view
arms.
this whole thing on YouTube.
Go back to those arms, dude. Yes.
Hell yeah, guy.
Yes. Look at that
Hell
rubber
yeah.
hose animation 1930s Bosco
Can
and
I
Honey
be honest?
cartoon ass robot.
I love it. I love it.
That fucking robot.
Stop trying to make robots look like people.
No,
Let
make
them
it look like
insane. Look at this shit. All the different weird configurations of it. So this one can pick up, but it isn't the one that you were talking about that had just the claw.
Yeah, throw that shit away from me, dummy.
That's awesome.
I bet it has enough battery power to do that exactly twice.
Yeah, probably.
I bet it has enough battery.
Look at that. Delivering drinks.
All the radar and LiDAR and Wi-Fi that it's using to pick up one sock. It's like, well, now I'm tired.
It says that robot is wearing another robot as a hat. Nice one, Jelly. Look at that. Air purifying. You get all the different attachments.
Damn.
This is going to become the way that you deal with Dyson so fast.
Here we are.
Another attachment.
In Los Angeles right now. 6 months to a year, next fire season.
Yeah.
I predict the wealthy will be walking around with this robot with the air purifier attachment in the air Juan.
I love this.
You walk into the air Juan and it will assign you a robot to purify your air.
Or the roof?
That's the roof.
Okay.
There are
That's
people
cool.
working on the roof.
That's cool. There's loud pounding at the not door, I guess.
Not door. Not today. No door today.
Love it. Chris Handel said, looks at robot. Not to be on the nose, but I have concerns.
Yeah. Listen, I get it.
I love it. I love robots that look like robots.
That arm is clearly the arm from the big dog.
Yeah.
That's clearly licensed from the big dog arm.
I think it's awesome. I love this thing. This is my favorite. Not for what it does, but for how it does it. For its whole vibe.
The only thing I do miss about going to CES every year is the weird shit. I was one of those people that I was always like, great, there are TVs and they're bigger and more OLED than they've ever been.
Wow.
That's so exciting. I'll care about that in a million years when I need a new TV.
Yeah.
But what I want to see right now, all your little guys, I want to see every little guy you've got.
We need to take a quick BRB.
Okay. For what? Yeah, those are just the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a BRB for the guys.
We'll be right back.
BRB.
Just a second. We're back. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
The guys are putting up a sign on the wall outside that says everything's fine. That's literally what they're doing.
Yeah, no joke. That's exactly what's happening, and they're doing it extremely loudly.
They literally just like came next to our door and they were just like, man, this building is good and quiet.
Yeah.
Like
anyways. Yeah. So getting back into it, that was a good robot. I would say other things from CES mostly were like the basics. They're your televisions, they're your screens.
Yeah. Sony's always got a living room of the future that's fun every year. There are always robots. There's always somebody showing off like a solar car, and we're always like, good luck, solar car guy.
Yeah.
And then they like disappear forever. I don't know, like.
Would you like to see another robot?
I mean, sure, I'll always look at another robot.
That's always my favorite and least favorite part of CES.
Like, I'll always look at another robot.
Let's take a look at this one together.
Sure.
This is a 1 minute and 19-second video from
Too
Realbotics.
long. Get rid of it.
I don't know why they needed to start right on her butt and then pan right over her boobs for
that's
this robot.
Because, hey, robot, lady robot, you know what I mean? Wink, wink, says the tech industry.
This is the advanced realistic humanoid robot and companionship-based AI.
Yep. So wait, so they took the. Oh no! Oh no! Welcome to the Hall of Presidents. This is this is like, oh no.
Guys,
hey, she's doing her she's doing that thing with her fingers that you did earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, who's that guy for?
Companionship.
Who's that guy for? Oh, it's a Sophia.
Yeah, let's just rip her face off, bro.
Oh, it's the updated Sophia.
Sure. Yeah, show me how real it is. Rip her fucking face off, bro.
Dude, if I had a robot lady companion, I would ask that robot every day to rip its face off. I genuinely would. If I was sad, that robot would know. That robot would be like, hey, do you want me to pull my face off and show you that I'm a skeleton robot underneath? And I'll be like, yeah, thank you. You always know what to do.
Guys.
Hey, companion, what do they want this robot to be a companion for? Where do they see this robot going? Because if they see this as a sexy robot, which is what the initial shot led us to believe, I'm going to tell you, I cannot have sex with a robot that's literally doing the robot.
Sure.
There's no
or
way.
a human that is, honestly.
Honestly?
I'd say it stops right there.
Do you know how hot this person would have to be?
For them to be doing the robot?
For them to be doing the robot and for me to be like, yeah, this is happening?
Yeah.
Like, they'd have to be so hot.
Listen, I feel like they can't actually say it's a sex robot.
No.
Right? So what they say is realistic, humanoid, robot, and relationship-based AI. Realbotics creates customizable human-like robots with AI integration that improve the human experience through learning, connection, and play.
This is like last year when they got all the horn dogs on the internet addicted to the horny chat GPT.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the iOS had the horny chat GPT app? And it was like, hey, get horned up with your hot iOS chat app.
Listen, you guys. I hate this more than I hate almost anything on this planet. And that's a long list that it slid right to the top of. I hate the entire Westworld idea of, once again, what if we created the very worst thing that we know and can prove will be the worst thing for specifically women, and we had it here right now? What if we spent all of our time, energy, money, and technology on trying to develop the worst possible thing that we could think of for women?
The
Things
vortex.
were just starting to get a little bit better and then a little bit worse for us. And they thought, well, I think we might be on to something. If we have to, at least somewhat and not completely, treat women like people, let's make non-people women that we can treat like garbage again.
It's Torment Next this time. It's like we were saying last week. But... And if you're gonna do, here's my thing. With Westworld, you look at Sonic's best friend, and you look at Evan Rachel Wood, and you go, they're moving like people. The whole point is that you look at them and you're like, that's a person.
Yeah.
I look at that thing, and I think about the 6-foot animatronic Party City skeleton.
Sure.
With flesh over it.
Like, you should be thinking about Five Nights at Freddy's, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you should be thinking about. And here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. Everyone's always so scared of the robots rising up and killing you all. I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope that robot, every man who takes one of those home so that he doesn't have to respect any kind of consent boundaries or basic human decency of a woman, I hope it fucking eats you, bro. I hope it fully Five Nights at Freddy's eats your ass.
But here's the thing. It costs extra for it to eat your ass. And number
Always does.
And number two, that thing couldn't chase you down a hallway. That thing couldn't follow you up a flight of stairs.
Sure, I hope if your dick gets near it, it gets stuck.
That thing is pre-jetpack R2-D2.
Sure, they're not running away. They're putting their most vulnerable of pieces in it, bro. I hope. I want someone to build one that's the most realistic, because you know they'll keep trying too. One person will get their dick ripped off and the next person will be like, hold on.
Listen.
I'm still willing to try.
The number of dicks that has been ripped off is well within national regulation. We are within safety standards. Our sex robot has only ripped off a few dicks.
Yeah.
It's a specific, we've narrowed it down to a specific thrusting technique that we think these people learned from an old pickup artist book from the early 2000s. Sure. And if you use that technique that the man with the large hat taught everybody on MTV,
sure,
the robot can rip your dick off. But we've found that it's within acceptable limits.
Yep.
And as long as you have sex with the robot appropriately, no dicks are being ripped off.
I hope that robot absolutely wrecks. I hope that robot just absolutely ruins you, and not in the sexy way. I think we should, every time it happens, every time the robot does get somebody, we all have to shut our fucking mouths about it, okay? Because everybody who wants one should get one and should get what's coming. You know what I mean? Every time the consequences of their actions happen, we all better shut.
It's like
don't spread that information.
It's like grandpa's
let
thing.
it happen.
It's like my grandpa's thing with motorcycles.
Go on.
I've told you this before, where when I told my grandpa I was going to get a motorcycle, he's like, 99% of the people that ride the motorcycles should know they're going to crash. And I was like, Grandpa, if 99% of the people that ride motorcycles crash, why would the government allow motorcycles to be sold? And he goes, they do it to get rid of the stupids.
I
Sex robots
mean,
are to get rid of the stupids.
That's all I'm saying.
Here's my thing. I think on an infinite timeline,
Mm-hmm.
sex robots for everybody that wants a sex robot. I don't care who you are,
No.
what you're about,
Disagree.
what you're into. A machine that is not AI, that's just there for sex, I think it happens. And if that's what you're into,
It can't
I don't
look
want to
like a
hear about it.
person.
Can't look like a
It
person.
can't look like a person. It can't look like a person. If we have proven, okay, that it is so easy for humans to dehumanize other humans. We have proven that these things do carry over. We've proven by the many pipelines for teenage boys that are happening on the internet. We've seen the way that the porn industry affects how teenage boys treat women.
Yeah.
We've seen the way that, like, everything, every type of, like, Reddit conversation, every fucking seedy WhatsApp group that they've been in affects the way that they go out into the world and treat women. It's the reason we have people like Andrew Tate, okay? Mm-hmm. Because there is this like weird thing where they can experience it and experiment in it safely.
Yeah.
And they're learning it, and it is learned behavior. We've learned that people can't handle the difference between a real relationship and a parasocial relationship, right? We know that like our human brains are not developed to a degree to actually have a separation of someone you know from the internet versus someone you know in real life.
All right.
So is there any reality in which we could do that?
What about
this doesn't become a machine where people practice assault?
What about this? In order to have sex with the robot, you must first practice 10 minutes of empathetic interaction with the robot. And then the robot goes beginning empathy protocols.
Maybe.
And in order to get sex, you just have to 10 minutes of just being cool and good.
Yeah.
And then you can have sex.
Yeah. Trixelia said, sex toys for everyone that wants them. No creepy fake people toys. That's it. It's just, it shouldn't be able to emulate a real person because the way that we disconnect from human connection is getting worse every single day.
That's fair.
Every single day we lose empathy for people by only interacting online, only interacting in curated spaces.
I mean,
we can't.
My thing about the sex robots is they don't make a lot of sense from a price standpoint, from a size standpoint, from where do you put it? Where do you put the sex robot? I think when you're talking about sex toy versus sex robot, sex toy easy. Sex toy put away. Sex toy go in a drawer. Sex toy. I mean, listen, unless you're one of those people that it's like, hey, we've got a special chair and a swing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Which,
if that's
whatever.
Which if you are, like, look, you've got some space put aside for that probably.
Sure.
But sex robot just feels like I don't even want to get my car's oil changed.
Sure.
I'm supposed to clean a sex robot?
Yeah.
Or have it cleaned? I'm supposed to maintain a robot that looks and acts like a human being?
Yeah.
That's too much.
Now imagine having a girlfriend. Crazy.
Do I have to Do I have to clean and maintain the girlfriend?
You have to maintain a girlfriend.
Do I have to clean and maintain it?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'd say so.
Yeah?
I'd say so. I'd say in many instances, yeah.
I don't know. Most girlfriends that I've had have been self-cleaning.
Yeah, well.
That's
Distorted makes a good point. Anthony? It?
Yeah.
You have to maintain it?
Yeah, it's a robot. It's not a person.
Well, no, you said girlfriends.
Yeah.
And then you said, do I have to maintain it?
Do I have to maintain the girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's lady.
Listen, no to sex robots. It's a big no from me. I think that people have proven they can't handle it.
And unfortunately, CES
cool,
was 63% sex robots.
Yeah. If you all could have
That's a
been
bummer.
cool, you could have had sex robots. But instead, you chose to be predators, and now you don't get sex robots. Sorry, human race. You fucked up.
Is there anything else at the CES?
Nah, that's probably it.
That's probably it.
That's probably it from CES. I don't know.
A lot of phone cases. More phone cases than you would ever imagine at CES.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I went to CES, I was like, wow, CES.
Yeah.
And then there was a whole section, and I was just walking around it for 10 minutes. I'm like, God damn it, this is all phone cases. How did I get lost in the phone cases at CES?
Well, there was one other big thing at CES, actually. There was
okay, so you're a liar. You lied to me.
I'm a fucking liar.
You lied to me.
I'm a fucking liar, Anthony.
You lied to me?
Yeah, I lied to you. You personally.
To
and
me.
you know what, Anthony?
To me?
I liked it.
What was it?
There was what was supposedly a Switch 2 mock-up
Yes.
floating around at CES.
This was, I think, this is sort of a separate story, but does have to do a lot with CES. The Switch 2 leaks are off the charts.
Well, so there was the first, I mean, there's been a million things. There was the first thing this weekend, which was somebody was showing off Switch 2 accessories on what they had was like a mold of supposedly based on the Switch 2.
This is Genki. Genki made the Shadow dock or the Shadow Play, whatever it's called, the tiny dock, the Genki dock for the Switch.
Yeah.
They make a lot of Switch accessories. And apparently behind closed doors, they were showing off their accessories on Switch hardware. This is not something that is unheard of. This happens behind closed doors at CES sometimes. What happened, though, is that the Genki stuff got out from behind closed doors.
Because you brought it to CES, weirdos.
No, but they were supposed to be showing that stuff.
Were
at
they?
CES.
Were they supposed to be?
At CES behind closed doors, what I'm saying is that stuff is normal. Like, I've seen stuff like that at CES before. Before a console comes out, before a piece of hardware comes out, manufacturers, because CES is for manufacturers to sell to other, to sell to retailers and stuff like that, they will show behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, hey, press embargo. Don't say anything about the fact that we made these Switch 2 accessories until this day. That happens.
But I feel like usually there would be a couple of embargoes, right? Because you would have like Nintendo's press embargo. Then you can't give them one on theirs, right? So if Nintendo says you can't show this to anyone, you can't be like, it's the thing where your friend tells you a secret and then you tell it to someone else and you're like, you can't tell anyone this, okay? Because I was told not to tell it, but I am telling you.
Well, that's what I want to know is like, is Genki officially licensed and did they do that? All Nintendo said publicly. Like, because is this, we heard from someone who heard from someone, or if they are a licensed Nintendo accessory manufacturer, did they get these specs from Nintendo? I think they probably got the specs from Nintendo, but what happened was Nintendo said, hey, whatever these mock-ups were that their accessories were attached to,
wasn't from us.
We didn't give them that.
Yeah.
We didn't give them that, and there are no mock-ups of this hardware.
Yeah.
There is no future hardware, and if there was, there would be no mock-ups of it.
Yeah.
And there's no war in Ba Sing Se.
What they said was the gaming hardware that Genki presented as Nintendo hardware at CES is unofficial and was not provided to the company by us.
Okay. So what that means is Genki has the specs, and they printed them out. And they've started making accessories based on those specs. And listen, a lot of that stuff has already leaked. Before CES, we got a leak of what is supposedly the Switch 2 motherboard.
Yeah.
Digital Foundry went through every chip on that motherboard, right? We've gotten mock-ups of the Joy-Con that have like new attachments and new sensors and stuff on them.
Yeah, they had that like backplate on it essentially when you like click it out to pop it off.
Yeah,
I'm curious about.
They are apparently compatible with the original Joy-Con, but also have magnets and a new like connector on them and different IR sensors. Listen, the only person who wasn't bringing the Switch 2 to CES was Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that didn't bring the Switch 2 to CES.
Yeah.
But the latest rumor right now is we're going to see the Switch 2 announced within the next week. Everybody's saying, like, the new industry rumor, January 16th, we're getting the Switch 2. This would be in line with what we saw for the Switch.
Yeah.
They said January, they're like, hey, look at this thing. We'll see you in March. And then March, thing. So this could be true.
I'm very curious to see. I would love a Switch 2 announcement. I would love one.
It's about time.
I am completely ready.
I don't think, and I'm not saying it's about time in the way that a lot of people are, where it's like the Switch is long in the tooth or like Nintendo's falling behind.
I love my Switch still.
Switch is great. But timeline-wise and sales-wise, now is the time for Nintendo to do this.
Yeah. I personally feel like I have had a absolutely fucking proper life cycle of my Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I feel great. And now again, like, I'm a Nintendo girly. So I want to clarify that, like, this is me simping for Nintendo, right? But I am like, oh, I got my money's worth out of my Switch. I am ready to buy another. I will instantly buy another one. Whereas I don't feel that with a lot of things when we're talking about all these handhelds and all this stuff. Yes. You tell me when and where, I'm in, I'm ready.
I was hoping my Switch was going to limp to the finish line.
Yeah.
Now, my Switch, as a reminder to everybody, only 8 years old. It's only 8 years old. And it finally died.
Yeah.
I told you, like, it finally
Mine's still
died.
kicking.
I have the launch Switch, and I think it's just the battery.
Yeah.
I got to open it up. I've been thinking about opening it up, but I was also like, I don't need to if the Switch 2 is coming.
Yeah.
So Nintendo, please release Switch 2 for me.
Yeah.
I have no Switch right now.
Yeah.
Very sad.
About that time.
I'm playing all your games on my Steam Deck, and they run better, and it makes me sad.
I think I'm the second batch Switch. I got it same year.
Yeah.
But I have the first of the colorful Switches. I got the Splatoon one.
Yep.
I was the holiday Switch that year.
Yeah,
so
that
it
was
came
second
out
run.
in like March, right?
Yeah. They had already fixed the fan and the battery on that one.
Yeah.
My fan was like.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, your fan was crazy.
No, mine was the day of.
Mhm.
I went to 2 different GameStops.
Yeah.
Got a Switch. Got Breath of the Wild.
Mhm.
And then had to get on a boat. I was on the Joko cruise
Oh, wow.
that year. And I was like, I'm not getting on that boat without a Switch. I'm not coming back and being a week behind in Breath of the Wild.
Couldn't
What, am I going to
possibly.
come back to Breath of the Wild spoilers?
Who could?
Let me tell you, there's nothing more beautiful, Sage. If you have the opportunity in your life, there's nothing more beautiful than to sit on the balcony of a boat,
Mm-hmm.
looking out at the ocean. Nothing but the vast, wide ocean, miles
Yeah.
and miles around you, playing Zelda.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
the most beautiful experience I've ever had in my life.
I hate boats.
I know you do. Do you know what I hate?
What?
Liars. Even though you lied to me,
Hate me?
I hate you now because you lied to me. But you don't lie all the
I
time.
don't.
Do you know who lie all the time?
A lot of people.
Richest man, Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. He lies like nonstop.
All he does is lie. But the latest story about Elon Musk's lies is it's the most pathetic thing I think I've ever heard. This is the saddest, most
Which is
pathetic thing.
Crazy because Elon Musk manages to top himself for the newest, most pathetic thing that he has done weekly.
It's so sad, this thing.
How can you have so much money and still be so pathetic?
So-
You could pay anyone to make you cool and no one could do it. That just proves that all the money in the world can't make you even kinda all right.
And he did try. He has tried to pay people this money. The story that we're talking about,
Do it.
the thing that just recently came out, Elon Musk is very proud of what a gamer he is, what a hardcore gamer he is, to the
Sure.
point where, like, even in his Walter Isaacson biography of Elon Musk, which is the worst thing that Walter Isaacson has ever written because it was written with the approval of Elon Musk, talked about how he would move meetings. Like, meetings where like hundreds of millions of dollars were on the line.
Yeah.
He would move them because he's addicted. Like, if he was playing a game that he liked and he's addicted to video games, he would just move it because he's such a hardcore gamer.
Hey everyone, remember how they always say that like people make more money because they work harder?
They don't.
They don't. Also, hey, Elon Musk, go raise your 12 kids.
Um,
Maybe go raise your 12 kids. He is, as a reminder.
well, he only has 11 kids now because one of them died from the woke mind virus. She's dead now.
go raise your
She
kids.
died.
Go raise your kids.
So here's the thing. Elon Musk has always been proud of what a gamer he is. When he first bought Twitter, he very famously did a Diablo 4 stream. He's been on Twitch, and he talks a lot about how he's like top 10 in the world in Diablo 4, right?
Okay.
He talks about like how he's obsessed with Path of Exile, like all of these things, like hardcore deep mechanic RPGs.
Sure.
So here's the deal. Elon Musk, one of the biggest streamers
Mm-hmm.
in the world, Quinn69, who tweets a lot of things like Path of Exile and Diablo 4. He's the sort of person who does this. Looked at a video of Elon Musk playing Path of Exile and went, "Oh my God, this guy paid somebody to level his account. This guy paid somebody to level his account." Because what was happening was, hello? I know, that's why I'm singing the Super Mario Brothers 2 theme. It's because they can still hear me. All right. So, Quinn69 looks at Elon Musk's Path of Exile gameplay and says, there's no way that this guy is the level that he is.
Yeah.
And doesn't understand the things that are on screen.
Yeah.
There is no way he would be making the choices that he's making at such a high level, to the point where, like, he was trying to go into portals in Path of Exile that he couldn't. That it was like very easily you would look at it and you'd be like, no, you can't go in there right now.
Yeah. If you knew this game, you'd know.
There were items that he was just leaving on the ground where it was like, hey, you need to pick that up. Why would you not pick that up?
Very interesting.
Just absolute, like, wild things that he looked. So he's like, he definitely paid somebody to level him.
Yeah.
We've got to look into this. And then they found, like, so much more.
Yeah.
So he was in the top players in Diablo, according to a third-party Diablo ranking site.
Mm-hmm.
But there are two things that were very interesting about that. Number one, during the time where he was ranked, there was actually an exploit that was illegal to use to get ranked.
Oh?
And he clearly used that exploit.
Unsurprising. What, a billionaire uses an illegal exploit for their own personal gain?
Yep. He basically used the exploit, which gave you like an insane amount of health or something against a boss. I don't know. I don't play Diablo. It's not my thing. But in addition, this third-party ranking site, there's some evidence that Elon has, like, basically given them some money to just kind of say, like, yeah, he's good. Yeah, no, we looked over his gameplay and he's good.
Guys, a reminder that Elon Musk is not the actual founder of any of the companies he's labeled as the founder of, because this man loves to buy a title. He purchased the title of founder of Tesla. He did not found Tesla. So are we surprised?
He didn't even purchase founder. He bought it and then kicked the founders out and then willfully took the title.
Yeah, he insisted he did contractually negotiate for the title of founder many, many years after the founding of Tesla. But
so
you could just buy any title.
This is so wild to me, because imagine being the richest person. Imagine being so wealthy you've literally thrown a car into space.
Yeah.
And you're so worried about what gamers think of you.
Yeah.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. That's the saddest thing I have ever heard. Where, like, you have billions and billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You have everything anybody could ever want. And yet, you still feel like you have to get the respect of the teens playing this game on Reddit.
Specifically teenagers. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be good at the game that teenagers think are cool.
He's really about that.
Fucking weird is that?
So strange. That's a level of sad that I can't even wrap my head around.
No.
To be making millions of dollars every second and be like, but I better look like I'm good at Diablo.
Yeah, okay.
And he's made it such a core part of his identity. Like, there was a quote in the Fortune article that talked about this, where Elon Musk was on a show. He's like, oh, there's something you learn, like, you can learn so much from speed running a video game. It's like, once you learn,
he says at maximum
difficulty, you don't just see the Matrix, like you become the Matrix.
Okay.
Like, just like the weirdest fucking quote.
You don't just exist in the Matrix, you see the whole Matrix.
You see the whole Matrix. Speedrunning video games is what made me what I am today. My dude, don't say it. Just don't say that.
I think we should all be able to just buy whatever titles we want. I, for instance, could go on eBay and become the 1980s first place bowling champion.
Yeah.
Any of us could just do that at any time. Let's just start buying trophies.
So a buddy of mine at Discovery, we started doing that for each other. We would like we'd just like take turns. Like I would just buy the guy a trophy and be like, could you believe that this guy is the bean eating champion of Indiana?
Yeah.
Like, and just like would put trophies on people's desks and be like, wow, that's amazing.
Look at me, the best at lawn bowls. Could be me.
You can just have, it's so cheap. Once I found out how cheap it was to have trophies made and sent, I was sending people trophies just like as a goof for so long.
Yeah.
But this man has enough money to literally manipulate entire governments.
Yes.
He has enough money to, he says a word and fucks with the economy.
But that's the thing. That'll never be enough.
But he still needs people to know he's very good at Path of Exile.
That's the thing.
It would be okay. Like, I don't understand. Like, I do understand. It's malignant narcissism. I get it. He's got a lot of mental issues. And on top of that, he's also just a bad person.
Yes.
Let's remember that sometimes people are bad people.
Yeah.
And mental issues, like that could be separate. It could be together. He's both.
Yes.
And so I do get it, but I also don't get it.
No.
I also could not wrap my head around. You could simply say any of the, regardless of whether you looted and plundered these companies.
Yes.
There's something that you did during that day that you can say that makes you sound cool. You don't have to steal accomplishments from your employees.
Yeah.
You don't have to lie about being good at Diablo. You own most things.
You own most things.
You can just say like, oh, yesterday I was at a meeting and, you know, one of the things that happened at this meeting that I thought about was this. You don't have to relate it back to how you can do a kickflip. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be like, yeah, I bought this company and I did a kickflip while I was doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, that's sick.
It's because he needs the validation of teenage boys. And we should consider that. Like, I do think it is worth considering, like, what type of, like, sickness that is of, like, there are people who have inappropriate ideas of children and teenagers in different ways, and needing the validation of teenage boys is creepy. And I think that we should consider that this, like, he's a pervert. You know what I mean? Like, I think we should call Elon Musk what he is, which is a pervert. Your obsession with being liked and respected and trying to manipulate the opinions of teenage boys, you're a pervert. You might be a brand new kind, or a kind that we don't yet really talk about, but you are a pervert because you are weird and obsessed with like Reddit boys, the Twitter boys. It's the reason you bought Twitter.
Do you remember when he was in a relationship with Amber Heard and he asked her to dress as Mercy from Overwatch? And he asked her to dress as Mercy from Overwatch. She did. He took a picture of it and she said, "That's just for you." And he put it on the internet. For the teenage boys.
Great. Anyways, moving on.
For the teenage boy. What a weird dude. What a weird, sad thing. Just, hey, man, just play Stardew Valley and chill out.
Hey.
Start an Animal Crossing village. Calm down.
Sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, leave. You like space so much, marry it. Couple more quick things.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time, but we did start a little late. So, first of all, I just want to say one more quick thing while we're talking about delusional people.
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti, director of The Flash, said that The Flash failed because a lot of people don't care about The Flash as a character. Andy Muschietti said, I mean, basically what he said was, it wasn't a 4-quadrant movie. He said specifically women weren't interested in The Flash. 4-quadrant movie is a movie in Hollywood that reaches the 4 quadrants of your audience. You know, 2 of those quadrants are women.
It's so weird because it's almost like when you hire a lead actor that has been super weird to women, women don't want to see the movie.
In a franchise of films that feels very subtly angry towards women.
Yeah, and make that character in their first appearance be super weird towards women in it. I'm shocked myself to hear that you lose the female audience.
Yeah,
Because-
it's super weird because, hey, here's something interesting about women not liking The Flash. It ran for 10 seasons on the CW.
Yep.
And its largest audience was women.
How interesting.
The Arrowverse was a superhero, one of the most successful superhero universes in media, and it was driven by a woman audience.
How interesting. We love Grant Gustin.
Dude, we love Grant Gustin.
The girlies love Grant Gustin.
Everybody loves Grant Gustin. You remember when?
That's my Flash.
Do you remember when Ezra Miller, when they were breaking into people's houses and taking kids to be part of cults and doing all that stuff, and we were like, hey, there's still enough time to put Grant Gustin in there.
Yeah. Or before that, when
it's a multiverse. You could even drop Grant Gustin in there and be like, it's okay that I'm not the one you remember.
Yeah.
But hey, you don't even have to do that. You could just be like, I'm the Flash now. And everybody would be like, cool. Good for you.
Thumbs up, Flash. You get him.
So he basically said not just did it not perform well because of the quadrants, but also he said privately in conversations that I've had, people definitely intimated to me that they did not care much about the Flash as the character. I was like, who? Hollywood people? Hollywood executives don't care much about the Flash? Other people in Hollywood who maybe aren't into comic books?
Okay,
Who?
Is that your fan base?
Hey man, I had a manager at my job a couple years back who probably wasn't into the Flash.
Sure.
And if I asked him and just him, I'd think people weren't into the Flash.
Sure. People told me secretly. Secretly, no one was into the Flash.
Secretly,
no one cared about this
Everybody
character.
said, secretly, we don't like this guy.
How interesting.
Secretly, he's bad character.
So it's women's fault, but also people don't really care about the Flash. And here's the thing. Here's what's interesting is that this is said in the sense where you're trying to clearly like take responsibility off of yourself for making a bad movie.
Yeah.
Which is weird because if you were okay, let's suppose that this is real. People don't care about the Flash, right? People generally.
Yeah.
Really just don't care
We
about
live
the
in a world,
character.
hey,
Let's pretend.
let's imagine we ran as fast as we could.
Yeah. And we ended up in a world.
And we ended up in a world where no one cared about the Flash.
Okay. If that was the case, would it not still have been the responsibility of the people making this movie to have done that research beforehand and figured out if people cared about this character? So if that was the reality you lived in, it would still be your fault for making a movie on a topic people didn't care about.
Hey, do you know who people cared about more than anything and were waiting for a million years to get that movie? Guardians of the Galaxy. People were like, you know what I want?
Yeah.
Everybody. People who don't care about comic books were like,
God, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is the movie about the sentient tree and the raccoon who loves a gun.
Yeah.
I've just been waiting. I've just been waiting and waiting for it. Hey, my guy.
Nobody knew.
It's
Nobody
your
outside
job
of comic fans
to
cared
take the character and make it work.
Yeah.
If that, and once again, there are so many things that you can say because as far as we know, I believe Andy Muschietti is still slated to direct The Brave and the Bold.
Okay.
So he's doing a Batman. He's still part of DC Studios.
Yeah.
You would think that he would want to come out and say, hey, yeah, you know what? We faced a lot of challenges with that movie. It was obviously, it was tough in terms of production. It was tough in terms of budget.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a lot of press stuff going around about our lead that was tough. But I did the best I could, and I'm still proud of the work that me and my team put in. And I think there's some great stuff in The Flash, and I look forward to making something even better with The Brave and the Bold.
But I can't wait to watch the movie from a guy who blames women for his movie failing.
Right. That's the thing.
Hey, if the problem was women didn't show up for your last movie, you know what you should do? Go on the internet and blame women.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see your Batman movie then.
Yeah. Sefrin.
I bet you're going to do a great Batman movie for me.
Sefrin in the live studio audience says, remember that nobody even cared about Iron Man before RDJ. And they built an entire cinematic universe where the linchpin of the most popular character, the character everyone cared about the most, was Iron Man.
Not to mention, not played by a celebrity that people cared about or were rooting for at the time.
No,
Robert Downey Jr. was considered to be a washed-up fuck-up. Nobody wanted to see Robert Downey Jr. in things because he had had so many problems in Hollywood. Nobody wanted to cast him in things. Nobody cared about seeing him in things.
I believe that it was either Jon Favreau or somebody on the production had to personally pay for the insurance for Robert Downey Jr. because he was considered an uninsurable actor at the time.
So that wasn't certainly carrying the movie. It wasn't that people cared about Iron Man, and it wasn't that people cared about Robert Downey Jr.
It was that they cared about the Ironmonger.
Oh, that's
they
it.
really love that. The
That's
Ironmonger
it.
was the most vivid and cool villain. Like when I think of Marvel's cinematic universe, I think, oh my God, the Ironmonger.
You know what it was? It was that people just really wanted to see Randy's Donuts.
That's right.
They were like, I'd just love to see a movie with Randy's Donuts in it.
I go see any movie that's got the Randy's Donuts in it. The real Randy's Donuts.
Yeah.
The first one with the big sign.
Yeah.
That's the one I go to. So yeah. Listen, here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
If you do a project and it comes out and it's not that great, it's okay. You don't have to say that it was great. You don't have to lie. Nobody expects you to lie. But you can say, hey, we did the best we could.
Ding, that's it.
We tried our best.
When in doubt, be quiet.
Totally forgot about Ironmonger. How could you do that? One more thing, just because we mentioned it off the top.
Okay. What is it?
The Haunted PS1 demo disc, which was supposed to come out in October.
Yeah.
They had tech issues, because unfortunately it could not be released in October. So happy Halloween in January. It's Jalloween.
I'm happy to have another Halloween.
I love
an extra Halloween.
The Haunted PS1 demo disc shows up today. Go grab it, enjoy it, love it. It will, of course, have a bazillion demos for independent horror games. Eek 3.
Yeah.
You can watch Eek 3 right now.
Yeah.
It will, of course, be hosted by the weird skeleton, as it always is.
Awesome.
But if you love independent horror games, go get that Haunted PS1 demo disc.
Very good. I also, before we go, want to talk about one thing, because it's so uniquely a story for us. And that is, my God, Vin Diesel still will not shut up about The Rock. Vin Diesel was literally on stage at the Golden Globes. And while people clapped for him to go up there, he said, hey, Dwayne.
Just, hey, Dwayne?
That's it. As a look, I'm on stage at the Golden Globes, and he's thinking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Was it hey Dwayne? Hey everybody, hey Dwayne? Let's see.
That's it.
Kind of funny.
He comes out and greets specifically Dwayne.
Kind of funny.
No, it's not. It's weird.
Kind of funny because
funny?
They're in a weird feud, and it's weird, and it's mostly one-sided by Vin Diesel, and it's just kind of funny.
You're obsessed with him. That's so weird. God, you're so weird.
It's not funny for any reason Vin Diesel thought it was funny.
Sure.
But I think it's funny.
Yeah. Now, as a reminder, they have a long-standing feud of some sort. The feud is Vin Diesel was an asshole on set. The Rock said, I don't want to work with him again. He was an asshole on set. And then Vin Diesel, once a month, goes on the internet to plea with him to come back to the Fast and the Furious franchise. He does it like the way that those commercials ask you to donate to third world ideas of countries. They do it like those animal shelter puppy videos.
Yeah, it's guilt fodder. He did in one of them. He said, hey, my kids still call you Uncle Dwayne. There's got to be something we can do about this. You can't, not publicly, my guy. That's so weird. Stop doing that. That's
Keeps
weird.
going on Facebook and being like, Dwayne, my brother, the franchise needs us. And you're like,
and listen, I'm not gonna cape for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
No,
certainly not at this point.
This has nothing to do with my feelings on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and everything to do with my feelings on Vin Diesel.
But if you were to tell me yeah, Vin was an asshole, but also Dwayne was an asshole on set, sure, I believe
it. But only one of them is making these Facebook posts.
But if two assholes don't like each other and don't want to work together, I say that's probably fine.
I shouldn't have to hear about it on Facebook.
Yeah, why do I have to hear about this all the time? I don't know. It's
so weird.
Why don't they just kiss about it?
Truly, Vin Diesel wants to kiss that man so
bad.
So badly. Still just wants to kiss so bad.
Vin Diesel, hey, do you feel like Vin Diesel has fewer features every time you see him?
He's getting, he's getting a little flatter and smoother and rounder. I would say rounder.
Vin Diesel
His head is becoming a full round sphere.
Vin Diesel looks like a PS3 character before he fully loads in.
Yeah.
Starting to just, I swear to God, like,
I want you mute.
his level of detail is set too low. There used to be so many more features to Vin Diesel.
Yeah. That dude, look, the makeup artists could stop giving him so much tan and start giving him a little more contour. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. That's it, everybody.
Vin Diesel's final form is just an orb.
Yeah.
An orb that follows Dwayne Johnson around.
Yeah. Hey, Dwayne.
The orb of guilt.
Yeah. The way he looks at him is so suggestive. He looks down and like, hey, Dwayne. Like, that's the energy of like a guy who's in a band coming out on stage and like saying hey to his girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the whole crowd's here, but like in the front row, there she is.
That's my girl.
That's my girl.
That's
everybody.
my girl, Dwayne.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That's my girl, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That's it, everybody.
Come
That's all
race
the
cars
show.
with us, Dwayne.
That's all the show that we have time for. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you are watching on YouTube later, don't forget to like the video. If you stuck around this long, you definitely liked it.
Yeah.
We'd really appreciate it. Be very cool of you if you're watching on Twitch. Thanks for hanging out with us live. But hey, also go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the show live, you can always catch it there. And it's neat. We appreciate it very much. You can also join the Discord. It's free to do. And you can go to patreon.com/pixelcircus, which isn't free to do, but there's a bunch of good bonus content over there. So it's worth it. You can try it for free with a trial, though. And I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Hey, also remember, tell a friend about the show, share the show and the channel with your buddies. That's the number one way that we wind up growing and getting more Pixel Pals. And be sure not to just subscribe here, but also over on Pixel Circus, the main channel, where they're doing a bunch of wonderful things.
Yeah. Anthony, where else can they find you?
Oh, my stars and garters. You can find me everywhere at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. I'm streaming again.
Oh, who is he?
I'm streaming again. Did a stream on Saturday. Going to do a stream again tonight. So go follow there. And of course on We Have Concerns, which is wehaveconcerns.com, and the official Marvel podcast, which is every Wednesday, wherever Marvel is.
Very exciting.
How about you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige or on the Pixel Circus channel GMing that Gotham one shot. You should go watch it. Yeah. I'd walk through hell for you. You know, all that stuff.
All that stuff. Hey.
Thanks for spending your morning with us.
We'll see you Friday. Bye, BBs.